So I've known TJ a long time, and I was always so thrilled to see her whenever we went down to the Linwood movie theater because I could ask her what to watch. So she gave us some recommendations last week, and I watched The Lady Killers. So I want to know, I thought Alec Guinness was wearing false teeth.
Yes.
In it.
Oh boy, was he ever?
I know. I kept thinking, why is he doing? I realized why he was doing it, but it just was a little over-putting. It was like Daniel Craig in that new movie that we just saw, which was a mystery.
Oh, Knives Out.
Yes, when he was the detective. I mean, I couldn't get over his accent. It was just distracting.
His Texas accent, right?
Yes. So Alec Guinness says Daniel Craig in his accent. So welcome, TJ. I'm looking forward to I've got my pen and paper ready, waiting for my new group of movies to watch.
Lovely. Great. Well, hey, last week we talked about more of the feel-good movies and fun movies like Bathtubs Over Broadway. And this week I thought we might want to talk about films that are a little more serious, but in the end, just as interesting. And the first one is really a good little crime theater. It's called The Guilty, from 2018, from Denmark, directed by Gustav Mahler, first-time film director, and he made this 85 tense minutes of a police procedural. And you are in the 911 call center in Stockholm. And
yes. Oh my God, yes. Oh.
Did you see that? Oh my gosh. It's so
my Lord. Yes.
It's amazing. Yeah. So this will absolutely take you out of your life for 85 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there's a cop working in the 911 call center. And you might ask yourself, why is there a cop in a 911 call center? And that's a good question. He gets a phone call this night that is anything but banal or routine. And it's a woman calling to order a pizza. And it slowly dawns on him, this is a woman who can't talk, but she's in trouble. And you spend the next 85 minutes with him in this call center as she tries to call back from time to time. And as this story unfolds, it's almost like a radio play because you're not following the action except through this man and his telephone. It's amazing. It's called The Guilty.
Yep. Don't miss it.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah, okay.
Love it. And the star is Jakob Cedergren. And he carries the whole film. Just this one man. And then speaking about somebody carrying a film, my next recommendation is called Capernaum, Capernaum.
Oh, yes.
It translates as chaos, but Capernaum, from 2018, from Lebanon, directed by Nadine Labaki. The film tells the story of Zain, and this is the child's real name. He's a Lebanese boy. He doesn't know how old he is. I'm guessing he might be 11, 12-ish, right? And he sues his parents for the crime of giving him life. The entire family are refugees with no documentation in this country. And the film, it is so charismatic and so streetwise. You can't take your eyes off of them.
Oh, TJ, have we lost you? TJ, can anybody hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we
So we've
hear
just
you.
lost. Oh, so we've just lost TJ, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Well, she's still on with. She's not muted.
No, but she's frozen, right?
Probably.
I think we all need to mute.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to mute me too.
Yeah, but if there's a way you can contact her, she probably needs to log out and log back in.
Okay. I'll phone her. So TJ is logging out and coming back in again. So while we wait for TJ, has anybody else got any other movie? I mean, maybe they'd like to put it in the chat box that they have seen recently that's a little unusual and that they think that we might enjoy.
I would presume that most people have already seen the Unorthodox on Netflix. If not, it's about a young woman who breaks away from a Hasidic group in Brooklyn, New York, and goes to Berlin, and it's her story. It's beautifully done, and the interesting thing about it is that the folks, the fellows, the people who live within this sect, Hasidic sect in Brooklyn, have viewed the film and said it's right on.
Just fabulous film, Sheila.
Yeah,
Fabulous.
yeah.
I just rented a movie off Netflix with Helen Mirren in, where she tries to be a little. I'm just going to see if I can find the name of it because I'm terrible on. It's called The Good Liar.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Yes.
I really enjoyed that. It's Helen Mirren, and she acts as she's a well-to-do widow, and she meets this con artist called Roy Coney, and he can hardly believe his luck that he's met this just recently widowed, well-endowed lady, and it's a story of how he goes on. He starts to care for her, and it turns out into rather a nice cut and dry swindle. So it's not quite as cut and dry as he thought it's going to be. But I really enjoyed that. I thought that was just a well-acted, quite interesting movie.
Where did you get that, on Netflix?
No, I got it on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
And it
a fairly recent movie.
Yes, it was. I was amazed, and it was quite reasonable because I tried to watch Emma, and it was like $19.99 to rent, and that to me is a little high to rent a movie.
What was the name of it?
The Good Liar.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry, I thought you mentioned another movie. Okay. Let's see who else we have on here. I've got these guys. Got
one of the things I've watched that we're in hiatus at the moment.
Shriner
is The Crown.
Oh yeah, lovely.
which is
Coleman did a beautiful job of transferring over, didn't she?
she did. It's a story of the Queen from a teenager up until the present, and it's well acted, and it's one of those series you watch and then you run over to Wikipedia to see how truthful it is. And the problem is most of the things on The Crown are truth, and so you then get that. You digress by walking through Wikipedia to find out all the minutiae about the things that happened on The Crown. So I enjoyed that. There's 2 series, and I believe that you can see those for free on Netflix, if nobody has as yet watched those.
What are those?
That's The Crown.
The Crown, yeah, right.
Yeah.
That how true was that to the situation?
Pretty accurate.
What I thought. That's what I thought I heard.
Yes, I growing up in England, a lot of it I realized, like Princess Margaret, you'd followed, but I was only a child, and so I hadn't quite put as much effort into it. So I thought that was good.
The whole thing on Princess Margaret that we saw.
Was there a lot of gossip and stuff being talked about in England about Margaret?
No, there was some, but the royal family was, while I was growing up, was not as we didn't worship film stars and royalty and were so interested in their daily lives as much as we are today. It was more balanced. And even today in England, if you're a famous actor, you're tended to be left alone. People don't follow you as much as people are followed here.
Oh.
So if you saw somebody in the restaurant, you wouldn't go up and talk to them. You'd just say, oh, there's so-and-so, and move on, as opposed to going to ask for an autograph or go and talk to them.
Mm. More polite.
Yes, maybe more polite. But one of the things I should have picked up, Sheila, was in the newspaper. It was there was a whole series of baseball movies, and over the years. So if anybody's interested in baseball, I'm sure there must be a dozen movies that have been used on that basis.
Yeah, there are lots of them. The Natural is a wonderful film. That's with Robert Redford, I think.
Yeah.
And the Lou Gehrig story, Babe Ruth story. Natural is the one I keep coming back to. You know, there's the one with Tom Hanks about the League of Their Own, about the women's baseball team.
Oh, yes.
That's really fine. That's a really fine film. And true story. Yeah, it's all that's.
So I put baseball movies in my phone, and up comes Bottom of the Ninth. I don't know anything about that, or a movie called Moneyball.
Oh yeah, that's interesting because it tells you about how they do the statistics with it. That's Oakland Athletics, Oakland A's. Yeah,
I think Brad Pitt was in that one.
Oh, it looks like him. Yes. And then there's a movie called Trouble with the Curve. That's Clint Eastwood, and now his age is catching up with him, and it's a story about with Clint Eastwood in it. And there's a movie called 42nd, 42.
Oh, that's the one about Jackie Robinson.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And $1 Million Arm. Oh, and here's TJ again. So please, can you unmute her?
Is she back?
Yes. Yes. I can see her.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
Hey guys. Well, that was exciting. Wow. Oh, are we still talking movies?
We are. And we just finished talking about Caperna. Where this little boy
Caperna.
Sues
Wow.
his parents for giving him life.
Yes. Well, you know, Nadine's first feature film, this director, was a film in 2007 called Caramel that got international acclaim. And her camera takes us inside a Lebanese hair salon where women come in and really let their hair down. And it's a pretty lovely movie called Caramel. Another film I recommend is Most Unusual from Africa. It's called I Am Not a Witch, 2018 from Zambia. And this is another film about a child. It's from director Rugano Nyoni, who's both Zambian and Welsh. And this is her first feature film. And it's pretty remarkable. Following a banal incident in her local village, 8-year-old girl Shula is accused of witchcraft. And after a short trial, she's found guilty and ultimately exiled to a witch camp in the middle of the desert. And like other residents or witches, she's tethered by a ribbon and is told that should she ever cut this ribbon, she'll be cursed and transformed into a goat. It's a short 93-minute film. It's a fable, but the skill is all the directors and this young actress and her beautiful face. It blends deadpan humor with surrealism, vivid visuals, social critique, and a skillful scoring. So it was pretty special, and it garnered a lot of post-film discussion when I showed it at BEMA. In fact, this is most of the films I'm recommending brought forth a lot of ideas and commentary after these films. And then if you want something a little more lively, I highly recommend a little film called Hipsters from 2008. It's also known as Stilyagi, Stilyagi. This is on YouTube at no charge. It's a Russian musical. What? Russian? Set in Moscow in 1955. It's a visual and auditory delight, even though oppression weaves throughout the story. And in fact, I think the best rock and roll comes from Eastern Europe. I just love this stuff. The story is about Mel's, who's a college student and, of course, a member of the party, who, while conducting a raid on a hipster hangout, finds himself drawn into this new lifestyle. And when the jazz is blowing, oh my gosh, all is colorful. But the color fades quickly when the oppression sets in between the time that they can get together and do their hipster stuff. It's so lively, funny, tragic, sad, Russian. I mean, it's everything. So it's called Hipster. And then for something that I just love, this little film from 2004, it's called Intimate Strangers from director Patrice Leconte, who is my favorite French director. He did Man on the Train, Girl on the Bridge, and he's in love with love, and you can feel it. The film stars Fabrice Lucchini and Sandrine Bonnaire. She's so beautiful. It's a provocative little story with mystery. This beautiful woman walks in to Fabrice's office, lays down on the couch, and starts revealing her most intimate secrets. And as she walks out the door, she tells him she'll see him next week, same time, which would be okay, except he's an accountant. Not accepted. So. Wonderful. And Grace Lucchini is so good at the blank look. You know, you can just see the circuits blowing in his mind. Woman starts spilling her story. And anyway, intimate strangers, really sweet. And then for something for the adventurous, it's called Wild Tales from 2015. It's from Argentina. It was Oscar nominated for Best Foreign Film. This is 6 short films about apocalyptic revenge.
Ooh.
It's not bloody. I mean, you would think it would be like a Death Wish, Die Hard, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
No, these are, wow. Okay, 6 short films. Some are extremely funny, like the Jewish Wedding from Hell. The film starts off in an airplane. It's a whole, the first short story. Very extremely well crafted. There's a short film about road rage, which almost turns into a Roadrunner Wile E. Coyote cartoon. And you can see the class difference between the 2 men, you know, and like, you know, and one just decides he's not going to take it anymore. And wow. Anyway, and a demolitions expert, you don't want to piss off a demolitions expert. So there, it really is an interesting collection of short stories, and it's called Wild Tales. And then here's a very sweet film from Israel. It's called The Wedding Plan from 2017. At age 32, Mikal, who's an Orthodox Jewish woman, is finally looking forward to the comfort and security of marriage when she's blindsided by her fiance's decision to call off the wedding with only 1 month's notice. And she's unwilling to return to the lonely single life. And she decides to put her trust in fate and continue with her wedding plans, believing that God will provide. So, and it's funny. And the actress, Amos Tamman, imbues Mikal with so much grace and conviction that we begin to root for this whirlwind of a gal, even though the closer it gets to the wedding day, the more dire things feel. It's really a nicely crafted film called The Wedding Plan. Yeah. Let's see. What kind of films are you interested in seeing, guys? Do you like? So I gave you like 2 kinds. I gave you fun little things and serious things. Yeah. Want some more ideas?
I love the ones that you have had at BEMA, the ones that have the strange endings, the turnabout endings.
Oh, I just love that.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you one of my favorite stories from the Linwood. You know, remember when I showed Memento?
Oh my God, one of my favorite movies of all time.
And this guy came in toward the end of the run, and he slaps his money on the counter and he says, "This is the most expensive film I've ever seen." And I said, "Really? Because, you know, it's only $8. And he goes,
Yep, exactly. Exactly. It does have to be, you have to watch it more than once.
You do.
Because you say, wait a minute, what happened here?
Right.
Exactly. And Guy Pearce, it's so good. I mean, it's just
so
really, really well done. I think it took me at least half an hour to be in the movie to all of a sudden realize what the hell's going on here.
I know. And Sheila, the first time I saw it, I was previewing it to see if I wanted to bring it into the Linwood. And I had the night before built the film wrong for the next day. And I had to tear it down and rebuild it. I didn't get home until 2 a.m. and I needed to get on a 7-something boat to get in for a 10 o'clock showing of Seattle of this. And I ended up falling asleep for like 3-4 minutes in the movie. And then I was playing catch up on a film that you can't catch up, even if you're watching it, right?
No, you can't. You can't.
That was great.
Well, that's funny. That's funny.
And all the films I told you about are on Amazon Prime, except Still Yagi. Oh, baby.
Oh.
Thank you. She just knocked things off of my desk. So, well, okay.
And what was the name of the last film? Could you repeat it?
Well, what was the last?
The Wedding Plan.
The Wedding Plan. Yes.
No,
I
the
think
one.
you're talking about Memento.
Oh, Memento.
Memento.
It's spelled
Okay.
MEMENTO.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It stars.
All right, describe it, TJ. I dare you.
Well, I will describe it, Richard. You see this film from back to front. You see the ending, and then it goes back and then plays up until that first point. Okay, and then it goes back and then it plays up until the second point. And so you can never second guess where this is going because you are just as much in the dark as the main character. Is it Guy Pearce?
Yeah.
Is he the protagonist? Guy Pearce is a guy who has short-term amnesia and he doesn't remember anything. So he tattoos, his wife has been murdered and he was conked on the head and now has this amnesia, and he's trying to find his wife's murderers. So he has tattooed clues in his skin because he loses pieces of paper, right? Who's the fast-talking, wisecracking guy who I adored in that movie? Who buddies up?
His friend?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. I don't remember.
Anyway. Yeah. But Richard, it's a really good piece of work. It's the most unusual thing. It's done by Nolan, Christopher Nolan. That was his first feature film. And he wrote it with his brother, Jonathan. And it was quite the sensation.
I remember it. You showed it not a while ago.
I don't even remember. Let's see. I don't even remember what year Memento was.
2000.
2000. Okay.
Yeah, and it's Joe Pantoliano.
Oh, Joey Pants. Yes.
Yeah, that's the one you like. Yeah.
What a wisecracking butthead he was. He made me.
Hated him. Yeah.
Yeah.
It won a whole slew of awards at TJ, like the Independent Spirit Award and the Edgar Award and the MTV Movie Award for the Best New Filmmaker. It won a lot of, I think the movie industry really liked that movie. And I remember
very much. Yeah.
That was before Guy Pearce did The Queen of the Desert. Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's an adorable film, too.
I love that film.
So flamboyant. Yeah.
Oh, it's so far out.
Yeah.
Is that the English lady? The Queen of the Desert?
No. It's 3 gay men in Australia go to the outback in a broken down bus to bring their brand of entertainment to the locals in the outback.
Okay.
That's one way of putting it, their brand of entertainment.
What was the name of that movie?
BPA put that on, and they did a great job with it. Did you see it?
Yeah.
Oh, it was so good.
What was the name of that movie?
Years ago, it was so well done.
James?
There was also a lady called Gertrude Bell who was called the Queen of the Desert. And she was a British lady who was involved in the First World War with Lawrence of Arabia. But it's nothing to do whatsoever with her.
That's the one I know.
It's so removed from her, it's unbelievable.
Okay.
James, did you have a question? Were you asking?
Yeah. What was that movie? What was the name of that movie? The Australian one?
Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
What was it called again? I'm sorry.
Priscilla, 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 Queen of the Desert.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, Jim, you'd love it.
Yes.
It's outrageous. Well, let me say, here's something that is a little bit outrageous, and it's extremely poignant as well. This is a documentary called Steam of Life from 2010. It's from Finland, and you can find it on PBS, POV, and Vimeo. Steam of Life is about Finnish steam baths and these inventive ways that the Finns can build their steam baths out of whatever's at hand. Telephone booth? Anyone? So, but the Finns take their steam baths very seriously. I mean, they take a steam bath much like we take a shower, right?
Yeah.
And this director would strip to the buff with a camera in a steam bath with these people, and mostly men. He wanted to get men's stories, and as the pores open, and so do the men's stories, and so it's really something. I mean, between the goofiness of these steam baths and the men's opening up, it was really a provocative piece, and it ends on such a poignant note that it like, while I'm laughing at the steam baths, and at this one story in particular, as a guy talks about, I forget what the name was, as he's talking about, this guy. Turns out he's not a guy. I won't tell you what he is, but that is a big surprise. And I always end up with tears in my eyes at the end of that one. It's very
Steams, STEAMS of life.
STEAM.
Yes.
Steam of life. Yeah. Yep.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, you bet. And let's see. We like animation, boys and girls.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Good. Okay.
It made Mirasaki any day,
Oh, right.
Any one of them.
So here's a film called Sita Sings the Blues. SITA. Sita Sings the Blues. It's director Nina Paley's very first film. She animates it. She wrote the story. And the story is about the Ramayana, okay? And not being from India myself, but the Ramayana is an ancient story that's told about Sita, who marries the king and loves her husband unconditionally, and she gets kidnapped and held for ransom. And when the king finally comes and rescues her and brings her back, and he's really happy because he's in love, he hears the people who say, she was gone for X amount of time, and he thinks that she's been untouched. He's kind of a cuckold, and so he banishes her from his kingdom.
Oh, dear.
So it's but but it's not a sad story in the hands of Nina Paley, because what she does is she's a big fan of jazz, and there's a jazz singer from the 1920s. I forget the woman's name, but Nina uses her recordings, and she puts in these marvelous dance numbers with this jazz music from the 1920s to tell this Indian story, which actually mirrors her own life. And it is amazing. It's called Sita Sings the Blues. Yeah. So, and you can download it for free. I think she hawked it at Sundance or Telluride, and the one offer she got was so lowball, she decided to just put it out there for free. So if you Google Sita Sings the Blues, yeah, you can find it. It's a visual delight. Oh, it's so colorful. In fact, every frame could be a puzzle, a 1,000-piece puzzle. So, and then if you want to see an interesting piece of work, it's so artistically done. It's a film called The Girl Without Hands from 2016. It's an animated story of the Brothers Grimm. Okay, now you know what a laugh fest the Brothers Grimm have been. So,
Don't think so.
Yeah.
So this is it's the animation and the fact that we'd never heard this story before that makes this such a visual delight. It's called The Girl Without Hands. And wait, I was going to say one other thing. Okay, there it went. Thank you, TJ. Nope, it's gone. Okay, Girl Without Hands. Something. What? Let's see. How about? Oh yes.
Which one would you recommend of Murasaki?
You know, Sheila, I've only seen two, much to my chagrin.
Really?
Yeah, but I know that My Neighbor Totoro is Kenneth Turan's.
Oh, God, I love it. Yeah.
It was his favorite film. And I've never seen it. I'm going to make a note.
You haven't seen My Neighbor Totoro?
No.
Oh, my goodness, woman, you've got to see that.
I know.
It's beautiful.
I saw the one
Spirited Away, right?
Spirited Away, the Castle one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rolling
Howling Castle.
Yeah, Rolling Castle, yeah.
Yeah. So come on.
Wait till you see Totoro and then let us know what you think.
Oh, I'd love to. Oh my God.
So beautiful. It's such a beautiful film. You know, it's interesting on the Spirited Away, I have the books which have the frames in them. Yeah. Wow. That they printed out after Spirited Away. I think was one of the Oscar movies, wasn't it?
Oh yes, it was.
And when it was, and then so of course they go from front to back or back to front and all the kind of thing as they usually would do anyway, and in a normal way in a Japanese book. And it's the cells, every single cell that's in the movie. I think it's 5 different small little books.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, I have another recommendation, and this too. Is it a documentary? Maybe. It's called Faces, Places. With Agnes Varda, who I think she died here just about a year ago. Faces, Places. And the lovely thing about this, you know, she's up there in age. She's like 88, 89, still doing her art. And she makes the acquaintance of a young man, His name is JD, I think. JD?
Something like that.
Yeah. And he's an artist. He does big stuff. And those two go on a road trip together doing their art together. And it's a wonderful transgenerational thing. You know, here she is in her late 80s, he's in his young 30s. And they interact with these people. One is an old mining town that's going to be torn down. And, you know, the last stragglers are still trying to hang on to their homes. And they do an art piece there. It really is very poignant and very special. Faces, places.
I agree.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, it takes place in France, looking at this.
Ah, yes. Yeah. In fact, they go to, is it Truffaut's house? At one point in the film, and I won't tell you what happens. But this film is on Amazon. In fact, all the films I talk about are on Amazon Prime, except where I noted that they weren't. Yeah.
Now, you don't have to go on Amazon, regular Amazon. You just can go on Amazon Prime, right? Amazon Prime Video.
Oh, hon, I don't know, Sheila. I'm not a member.
Oh.
Yeah. Jenna, do you know? Do you use Prime?
I don't know. I do have Amazon Prime because one of my kids worked for Amazon. Not that that made any difference, but you just go straight to Amazon Prime when I do that. But I'm sure, and only Amazon Prime gives you a series of free movies. It's nothing. It's the same as Amazon, except as a little section. So I think if you just went to Amazon, you could find these.
I think there's a bar at the top where you can choose different places to go, and Amazon Prime is one of the choices.
Yes, but you can just go to Amazon and get them. You don't have to be a member of Amazon Prime to get them.
Oh, really?
Yes, I thought you could just go and get them from Amazon. I believe so. I'll have to do some research and find that out.
Okay, yeah.
You know that if you're going to buy anything or do anything like this from Amazon, if you go on Smile Amazon, that gives monies to Senior Center.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But you have to enter in, not Amazon, just Amazon. You go in smile.amazon.com.
Okay.
But once you set it up, Sheila, mine automatically goes to the Senior Center once I set it up in the first place.
I don't understand what you just said, Jen.
Well, I set up that, you know, they get a certain percentage of my, not that I buy a lot from Amazon, but
right, it's a percentage of what you bought, yeah.
Yes, but once I'd set it up to go to the Senior Center, I don't have to keep doing it. It does it automatically. That's
correct.
Yeah.
You have to go every time you want to do this. Anytime you buy anything from Amazon, go into smile.amazon.com. Yeah.
Janet, can I give a small shout out for the Manhattan Shorts that I do every year at BEMA?
Absolutely, because I love those, yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So if you're a shorts fan, you might want to know about this. September 25th, 26th, and 27th, the last weekend in September at BEMA, we hopefully will be showing our yearly event, the Manhattan Shorts.
Yeah.
And every year, the committee of Nicholas Mason and the Manhattan Shorts Judging Committee view, like 1,400 short films from all around the world. And they take the 10 best and put it into a collection. And you get to see 10 short films from around the world, all different subject matters, all different types of films. Sometimes there's an animated one, sometimes not. Some are funny, some not so funny. And it is a really wonderful collective experience because you get to be the judge. You vote for your favorite film. And everyone all around the world is doing the same thing, turning in a ballot of their favorite film. And then at the end of that week, because these films only show for 1 week, the votes are tabulated, and the winner gets a package of recording equipment, cameras, money, things to keep on making movies. So, and they also get the eyes of the Academy Award committees for best shorts. So in the past, I think 2 films have won the Academy Award, and almost every year something gets nominated. And so it's a nice collection. It's called the Manhattan Shorts. You get to be the judge. September 25th, 26th, 27th. And then what we're hoping at BEMA in September is that if we can do this safely, I've done a collection of documentaries, contemporary, like fresh documentaries, and I called this Smart Film Series a 2020 look at this new decade, although I never saw the coronavirus coming when I put this together for February, and I put it together back in November. So, but if you want to, we'll start September 7th, maybe. So,
I've loved going to the shorts. Every time I voted, I have never ever. My vote has not ever been the same one as the one that's won.
That's because you're unique, Janet. You have your own unique taste.
But it's just so much fun because there's such a range there. That what I like, you might not, but it's everybody likes at least one of them.
Yes. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
More than one, but there's always one that stands out for everybody.
Oh, that's true. I still have people that come up to me. I started doing this in 2001 at the Linwood, and I brought this with me to BEMA. I mean, people will still say, "Do you remember the one with the tunnel? Or do you remember the photographer lady?" Right? I mean, like, and all you have to say is just 1 or 2 words. It's like, oh my gosh, and you're just swelled with remembrance of that powerful film. Yeah. And the other lovely thing is that in years past, every year past, BEMA at the intermission would put out a small spread, of hors d'oeuvres, light snacks, and people would stand around and talk about what they had just seen for that first hour and what films they liked, and it really is one of the warmest events that you can attend that weekend. It's like everybody knows they're coming for something unusual and they're happy to be there, and it's a really special event.
Good. Well, TJ, I wanted to say thank you. I've got loads of suggestions, and I started working my way through last week's, never mind starting on this week's.
Exactly.
So, and I'm sure some of the movies will intrigue me, and maybe Lawrence will like some others. So I'm really looking forward to working slowly through this list. And if we are still here in 3 months' time, I'm bringing you back again, because...
Please do. We can talk movies.
Yes, it would be a fun thing to do. I love talking movies. They're just one of those things in life that take us out of our own skin and our own life and show us what's possible and maybe what's not. So the first thing I'm going to do is going to watch this thing on Finland, The Steam of Life. Because you're right. I have been to Finland, and every hotel has its own sauna. And so I can understand how every day they take a sauna instead of a shower. So,
yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, give me a call and let me know how you like it.
I will.
Oh, nice, guys. Oh, thank you so much. I hope you find something in the last 2 weeks when we talked about film that will touch your heart or touch your soul, educate you, make you laugh, or just make you feel a part of this great community called humanity.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Nice.
So
Thank you, TJ.
Thanks, TJ. Bless you.
TJ.
Bless you.
Guys. Bye.
Thanks, TJ.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.